Welcome to the Mad Mamluks. My name is Mohammed. I'm here alongside my two co-hosts, Amr and Sim. Today we have a very special guest, Subhan Ashrafi, aka STG Gamer. He has a YouTube channel where he does gameplays, tips, and tutorials for NBA 2K. He's appeared on the NBA 2K15 MVP trailer alongside Kevin Durant. Subhan, it's very nice to have you here.
Thank you so much.
So, just for starters, I want to ask, where are you from? Let's start at the beginning.
Originally from Pakistan.
You were born there?
I was born here, but my family's from there.
Oh, okay.
I live in Addison, Illinois.
Oh, and you've always lived there?
Yep.
Oh, that's
Whole
awesome.
life.
That's awesome. So basically, the point of this is just to get to know a little bit more about you, what you do. How did the YouTube thing start?
The YouTube thing. So, I mean, obviously, as many other youth my age, we love basketball. We love Facebook. So I would always watch the Bulls games. I would always watch, all the playoff games and whatnot. But eventually, Facebook's rant was not enough because our Bulls we never get past LeBron. So a Facebook status wasn't enough. So one day I just decided to go on my laptop and just talk to the camera, upload that to YouTube, and ever since then it just kept on going.
How long ago was this?
This was when I was a junior in high school, so around 5 years ago.
Oh, really?
4 to
You've been doing
5
it for
years
that
ago.
long?
Yes, 2011.
Oh, wow.
When did it really spike?
It actually started to spike probably a year after because there was a lot of complications. But after the complications and all that, it started 2012, 2013. It started going big.
What do you mean by complications?
By complications, well, obviously the first thing was just a lot of hate. I wasn't used to like all that. There's a lot of hate comments, like people calling me terrorist, people calling me this, calling me that.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't used to stuff like that as a young kid. But I guess the more people who started supporting me, I guess I used to feed on that, and with all that, I just kept on going because I would take some breaks because this is so weird. I'm not used to seeing this type of stuff, but finally I just came and pushed through, and it was like a Star Wars Jedi, like a red lightsaber of dislikes and green likes. So I lost motivation. But
we actually had a discussion about this before we even started this podcast. Mm-hmm. We had talk about it that there's going to be a lot of people who are their mission in life is to tear you down. No matter what you say, they're going to take something you say out of context. They're going to run with whatever you want to say, whatever you said, and just go after your livelihood, go after your family. They'll go to any depth to take you down because they haven't done anything good in their life. Mm-hmm. But once someone else is taking off or doing something beneficial, whether it's for themselves or the society, they want to tear you down. So we had to talk about this in depth and make sure we're all ready for that before we make this endeavor. So yeah, I can totally feel you about that kind of pressure. It's got to be unreal,
It was definitely tough at first, but a good friend of mine told me, haters just mean you're doing something right. So I fed on that, and I just took all the positives I could out of the situation, and alhamdulillah, I'm grateful for it.
Yeah. They hate us because they ain't us.
Real talk.
Did you ever feel that you were going to stop something? You were like, you know what, this isn't for me because I was getting so much negativity.
At times, there were times I was feeling like that, but I guess, I remember one of the first comments I've got is like, I look forward to your videos all the time. So that really gave me some motivation because although there was many hating comments, just that one person who actually looked forward to watch and spend his time to watch me talk, that really boosted my, my confidence. So I just kept on doing it for him.
So they weren't necessarily comments about the content. It was just more about you as a person, or you essentially being brown.
Pretty much, but I'm not going to lie. There probably were comments that I did deserve because I did go back and look at my videos from like 5 years ago, and I couldn't talk. I would just start chewing my mouth randomly. It was so bad, but, it's a good learning experience.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, what other guys, for example, I watch a lot of FIFA videos online, so your the similar guy would be KSI on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was addicted to watching his stuff because I was a huge FIFA gamer.
Yeah.
Do you watch their videos and other personalities from other video games and see what they're doing right or wrong and how you can improve your own channel?
Of course, of course. I mean, obviously KSI, he's huge. He's
Yeah.
probably the biggest sports gamer on YouTube. So, I always look at him because not only is he funny, he puts a lot of quality in his videos as well.
Right.
So that's definitely something I noticed. But then you look at the other aspect where I seen, a YouTuber named XJaws, and he would upload Call of Duty like 4 years ago, and I used to look up to him so much. But obviously, once you become a YouTuber, people become really attached to your lives, and they want to know so much about you. And this individual would share his lives with his users, but there would be a time where he would slowly stop making videos, and it's because he kind of got under the influence of drugs.
Oh, wow.
And when he shared that with his audience, they got really concerned, but unfortunately it was just a little bit too late for him, and he kept on getting into these drugs, and it just kept on getting worse, and then he ended up quitting YouTube. So it's definitely a big responsibility as a YouTuber because obviously all these people who looked up to him, they might think it's okay to do drugs as well. So KSI, I'm happy.
Yeah, how many videos do you have to... Are you required to churn out a number of videos every week, or...
No, there's no requirement.
Oh, okay.
As many as you want.
Cool.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
YouTube, you could just, if you want, you can take a break, whatever.
Of course,
But you're going to lose subscribers, right?
you could lose subscribers or views. There's a lot of people who do this like as a full-time job. So obviously, views equal money for these
Right.
individuals. So if you stop uploading, then you'll lower your view count.
Have you considered it as a full-time job?
I have.
Like, for example, I don't know if you've seen MKBHD, who does a lot of reviews for electronic gadgets.
Mm-hmm.
I think after he graduated college, he made this his full-time job now, where he's just going around reviewing all kinds of
Oh,
gadgets.
yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean, so many people who upload just the game I do, 2K.
Yeah.
Almost all of them are doing it as a full-time job.
Yeah.
Just being a Daisy, you got to get your degree, you got to do this, you got to
Oh,
do
man.
that. So it's a little bit, it's tough to do that. But the good thing is it's very flexible with your time. So as long as you manage your time, you could do it at night.
How
So,
close are you to finishing your degree?
I finished my degree, but I'm just doing some studying on the side as well.
Cool. What was your major?
It was management and minor in psych.
Cool.
I want to come back to that, to when you got your degree. But before that, I wanted to ask, when you started, we were listening to this one TED Talks a while ago, and the guy, when he first started doing, he was doing podcasts actually, just like this. And so when he first started, he said he reached out to somebody he really looked up to.
Mm-hmm.
He sent him an email. He said, "Hey, I really look up to you. Can you help me out?"
Yeah.
And the guy never replied. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever reached out to someone, KS1 or whoever it is, and did they reach?
Yeah, this happens so many times. It's crazy because when you first start YouTube, I would obviously message all the biggest YouTubers at that time, asking them for a shout out, asking them from this, from that. And obviously, I'm just a nobody. I'm just a regular person, right? Who's just trying to be big. But obviously, the coolest thing that you realize is once you actually put the time and the work, and your name actually gets bigger, then these people actually become your friends, and then you actually might surpass some of these individuals in terms of views and subscribers. I remember one dude, I would actually message him, can I have a shout out? Can I have this? And then you fast forward 2 years later, like I'm chilling with him, I'm talking with him, and it's crazy.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's funny. He said the same thing. He was just like a few years later, once he started getting a bit more traction, he actually, that guy that never emailed him back, he got on his show, and he was a peer. He wasn't a fan anymore. But that's really cool. So going back to the school thing, I think you were telling me, or I heard you were taking how many credits last semester?
It was 49.
49.
Whoa. Wow. Mashallah.
Wait, you took 49 credits in one semester?
Yeah.
Why did they let that happen? Why did they let you even do that?
I mean, they didn't really let it happen. I mean, literally everyone they just called me suicidal. Like, I was like, what are you doing? But I mean, there's just a way to do it because, everyone's so used to the 15, but there's so many opportunities in different colleges, like online classes and whatnot. And, I really wanted to graduate early. And, it didn't start off as 49. It started off as like 25. I'm like, maybe I can add one more class, then one more class, then one more class. And then slowly, I found a way to, make it fit where I would graduate on time, picking all these classes and still have a life. Like, I would make sure that no matter how many credits I would be taking, I would still be able to watch my Bulls games, go watch movies with my family, play basketball. I would never jeopardize that. So,
Oh.
So you're a family man.
Of course.
Awesome.
So wait, what was the motivation then? Why did you want to finish early? Why not just chill?
I guess I wanted to really focus on YouTube. I'm not going to lie. I wanted to focus on YouTube and my endeavors, but obviously, God had better plans. And I still focus on YouTube for sure. But yeah.
So what are you doing now?
Right now, I'm currently at Dar es Salaam Masjid right now,
Okay.
doing their 1-year intensive program.
For?
Just for Islamic knowledge, I guess. Because
What is the program? Is it the Alim course? Or
yeah, it's
something?
an Alim course.
Also, they have a 1 year intensive of it. So is it basically like a 4 year into 1 year or 3 years into 1 year type thing, or
No, so basically it's just the first year where you're grounded, like a lot of material of all different aspects, and then obviously if you want to continue, then they have the second, third, fourth, fifth year, and then to seventh, I believe.
Very nice. Yeah, I mean, when I was reading about you, I was very actually intrigued. I was just watching a clip of your basketball. You play basketball very well. You memorized the Quran. You memorized the Quran 40 some hours. So you're a studious dude too. You got your own channel. You've developed into an awesome personality. How old are you?
I just turned 22.
22.
Wow.
That's amazing. That is phenomenal. That's inspirational. And so, how do you balance? The first question I have is basically, how do you manage your time to balance all of this? And you don't have to get into detail of all your time management,
Of course.
but even just for myself and just for listeners, those who want to do 5 different projects at once, this is project management at its best, right? So how do you do that? Like, how do you work on that?
I mean, the biggest thing is having the mindset, for me at least, that thinking you could do it. Because if you believe you can't do it, then I don't think it's going to happen. You have to believe you can do it, and you have to look at people in the past who've done some crazy things. There's so many individuals. Like we had an individual who came to our school, and he talked to us how he went to Harvard and he was studying Islam on the side as well, and he was doing so many things. And you just read about all these people that if you maximize your time, you can do it. For me, I guess one of the biggest things I do sacrifice is sleep. So some days, I might sleep for 3-4 hours, but
very nice.
But if you have that burning desire to achieve a goal, then nothing will get in your way.
Very nice. So, how old were you when you memorized the Quran?
I was around 15, I believe, when I finished.
15, and was that locally or was that somewhere else?
It was locally, yeah.
Very nice. That's awesome. And as far as your Islamic studies are concerned, right? Out of how many subjects do you guys cover basically for this intensive?
We have 10 classes.
Very cool. And how many days a week do you guys meet?
6.
Wow, phenomenal.
And it's a 9 to 5, just like school, or is it a?
It's a little bit longer. It's Monday through Friday. It's around 8 a.m. till 8:30 p.m.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow, that is so cool. Nice. What would you say if I was? I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but what's the subject you actually look forward to the most?
I
That
think
intrigues you the most?
Definitely Sirah, for sure.
Very nice.
Learning about the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Can't
His
beat
life.
it.
Yes, that's
Can't beat it.
amazing. That's amazing because it combines everything, right?
Of course, and it's crazy because we're learning so many things, and sometimes at the end of the day, I feel like, man, I feel like we learned so much. I don't even know if I learned anything. But then when I talk to my friends, on the side and on the weekends or whatnot, everything just comes back to me.
Yep.
Because you can see how many personal examples of his life can relate to all of our lives. It's
Very
unbelievable.
So wait, what was the motivation though? Why'd you even decide to do the Alim course? Why didn't you just go, full time with your YouTube gig?
Well, I mean, I guess because in summer I took their summer intensive Arabic program, so I just I took a first little mini step, if you will, and then I realized, I have free time, and I took 49 credits. So I realized, and obviously the teacher had to talk to me too, because when I found out classes were up to 8:30, I honestly thought I was going to drop out. I told them the day before, I can't do it. I won't have time to do YouTube and my other jobs. But, I'm so grateful for my teacher because he literally talked to me. And honestly, since joining, it's been the greatest decision I've ever made in my life. It changed my life completely.
Okay.
Wow.
And the motivation is just to learn more about Islam, because that's true happiness at the end of the day.
That's exactly what happened to me. I actually just planned on only studying Arabic, and that's what I did for a year and a half. Right when I went to Mauritania, I didn't expect to go, and I didn't plan on it. I was like, I just want to learn Arabic. But after learning Arabic and how much more I wanted to learn, the Islamic subjects, is that basically I was like, all right, this is what I want to do. But I'll only do it for a few more years.
Yeah.
But then it just became a complete lifestyle change. Basically, you're right.
Mashallah.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah,
Were you doing YouTube at that time?
I have never. No, I have never. And speaking of YouTube, I remember the first time I saw this dude, man. Mashallah, awesome dude. He had a YouTube shirt on. I saw him in Villa Park. He had a YouTube shirt. And I was like, why is this dude wearing a YouTube shirt? I've never seen that. I've never seen anybody wear a YouTube shirt. And then my nephew comes up to me. He's like, "Hey man, this guy is here." Then I didn't know his name. He's like, this guy I watch on YouTube. He's there. I was like, he's a YouTube star. I was like, who's this YouTube star? I see. I was like, oh dude, all right, very nice. I went and talked to him and stuff.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
Did you on YouTube they give away this thing like a golden nugget or something, right?
Yeah, it's a plaque.
Okay. Do you have one of those?
So they have a golden plaque for 1 million subscribers, and then they have a silver plaque for 100,000. So I got the silver one.
Did you
Very
pawn it?
cool.
Did I what?
Did you pawn it or did you keep it?
I kept it for sure. I'm not selling that one, man.
So they just send it out to you as soon as you get 100, huh?
Yeah, you just basically email them and you just tell them, I hit this milestone, and then they'll verify it, and then they'll send it to you.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
So what do your parents think about you playing video games? I remember when I was younger, my parents.
I mean, I scream so loud on my videos, I go crazy. So
I've watched them.
Yep.
Like when I first started, obviously it was like a big thing. Like when I first screamed so loud, like out of my mind, my family rushed to my room. They thought I was like, "What's going on? Like, should we call the doctor? You okay?"
Can you do that for us right now?
I don't want to worry the people upstairs, but they were really freaked out. But now I can scream so loud where I literally like lose my voice the next day. They won't say nothing. They just know I'm making videos.
They'll literally probably thinking, "Oh, he's doing work right now."
Yeah.
Work. That's fat, dude. That's awesome.
That could be dangerous though
amazing.
too, though. Like if I'm actually in trouble,
Yeah.
you're just making a video.
The boy who cried wolf.
Seriously.
You could always use that excuse. I'm working, Mom. Whatever.
Yep.
You could be playing video games or whatever, and
No, but if the mom's calling you, you gotta go. Like she's gonna keep on calling you, so you just pause the video, go, and then come back.
So how does this Alam course work and in YouTube in the YouTube thing? I mean, what's up? Do they say, hey, you have to stop one of these? Are they
I
cool
mean,
with
it's
it?
actually pretty crazy because obviously just one of my teachers knew, but they always talk with each other and whatnot. And it was actually funny because one of my teachers just came in class like last week. And, we had to go over our homework. He's like, okay, your turn, STG. I was like, oh, snap.
STG.
So they see me go, like, Super Saiyan and stuff. So it's kind of awkward, but it's cool. I can't complain.
That's cool, man. You're a human being. You just got your own personality. That's
Of
awesome.
course.
So how'd you come up with, man? I have to ask a question. How'd you come up with that name?
STG. Actually, a friend of mine gave me this name.
Really?
Yeah, because, my name's Subhan, so Sub for short, I guess. And then,
Oh, that's how it was.
and like, I had to start a brand new channel because my first channel that I created when I was a junior in high school, that channel couldn't get partnered, which is very sad because obviously when you're a YouTuber, you want to get partnered, you get these benefits and whatnot. So that channel was not able to get partnered. So that was a very depressing time in my life because I worked so hard, and then I realized this channel would never become partnered. But finally, I realized I had to start a brand new channel. So I started a brand new channel. He gave me that name, and alhamdulillah, just things started going well with that.
Why wouldn't it have gone partnered?
Basically, there's just complications with Google, and at that time, Google was so hard to. I didn't do anything wrong. It's just this little glitch with Google, and it's so hard to contact Google at that time. So I knew nothing could happen. I was just keeping myself optimistic, like maybe they'll reply next week, and I just led to months and nothing happened. So
And this is when, back in 2011?
this is 2012.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the year after I started my YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. And how many subscribers did you
I
have?
had around 3,000 subscribers at that time, so
Oh.
it was really big for me at that time. So when I had to start the brand new channel, it went, I told everybody, check out my brand new channel. I got a brand new channel. Please subscribe to it. I'm hoping to get that partnered. Only like 500 joined, so that was obviously another big blow as well. But those 500, grateful for them.
Oh,
Blessing in
okay.
disguise, man. It's all
Real
a blessing
talk.
in disguise.
Yeah, but I mean, look at you now. I mean, you bounced back hard.
Yeah, dude.
Talking about being animated and everything, and yelling. I was watching one of your videos, and then I don't know anything about 2K. I don't play, but I remember we were watching it, and then he did something. He unlocked Kevin Durant,
yeah.
and then you went crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yes, we were together. Yeah.
So you met KD, right?
I met Kevin Durant. Yeah.
Did you touch him?
Yes. Before I even met him, because I don't know if there was going to be I knew I was going to be in that commercial with him, but I didn't know if I was actually going to meet him. But before we met him, we were in his room, and we saw his hair. So some of us literally just grabbed his hair and was like, you know what, at least we got his hair. We got his hair. But yeah, I met him, and it was crazy because I was starstruck.
So how did that even come up? Why did EA
How did they
flew
reach
out
out to you? Or
Yeah, they reached out to me. I mean, this is literally a week before. They're just like, hey, 2K is having some type of little commercial type of set, and we would like you guys to join. We sent your name and 10 other people's name, and this agency picked you with 3 other people. The whole time I was just thinking, I was going to be the dude on the crowd, just cheering. So I didn't see nothing coming.
this is just an email to you, or
It was a phone call.
A phone call,
It was
wow.
very last second too. He's like, we're just calling you. If you can do it, your flight will be like in 2 days. I was like, yes.
and all expenses paid,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
So did they give you a character in the game too?
They didn't give me a character in the game. They just let me be in the intro. That that commercial was the intro of the game.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw like a
Impressive.
player with the had your jersey. I think it said
Yeah.
STG or something.
Yeah, I wish that was like actually in the game. I made my own player, so people watch that. So, yeah.
That is awesome, man. Wow.
So
Being in a commercial.
that's pretty
It's
dope.
crazy.
So what's your YouTube thing? What do you do exactly?
I mean, basically, what I try to do is just play obviously NBA 2K and obviously play the game and also play basketball. People watching me play basketball are people watching me play video games, but through that, I also try to like give some advice, some motivation to these kids as well, because the majority of the people who watch it are 15-year-olds, in high school, middle school, so they need that too, because there's a lot of other people on YouTube who swear or really don't have the morals. Obviously, if I swore and did all that stuff, obviously I think my views would definitely be more increased as well, more money, all that, whatever. But
Respect,
these people, these kids need it, because I see it in the comments down below how troubled they are.
Yeah.
And it's a reality check.
That's crazy.
So do you ever meet fans?
Yes, it's crazy. It's been happening a lot more as of late, but just to see their faces, it's like when I saw Kevin Durant for the first time, like it's like, wow, is this happening? It's crazy.
That is actually pretty amazing.
I saw underneath your comments on underneath when you were playing basketball, where your 30-point comebacks. I think you just recently uploaded that one.
That's pretty
and
dope.
a few others. There's a bunch of people who reply back, and there's like, what gym are you playing at? Like, if the guy released where exactly, I'm sure there would be like a whole bunch of people there.
Have you ever done those meetups? A lot of YouTubers do that, right? It's kind of.
I think you did one at ISNA or something too, right?
I mean, I haven't done it officially, but I did announce I was in ISNA, so I met some brothers, during the basketball tournament who were, really happy to see. So that was really cool to see.
So a majority of your audience is what? How old? What's
I
their
would
age?
say, from like 10 till 18.
Okay.
But there are some individuals who are, over 20, some
Okay,
over
okay.
30, some under 10. But
Okay,
teenagers, 10, teenagers probably the most.
Okay. So basically, they just watch you. Do you teach them how to play, or do they
I
just
mean,
watch
I
you play
don't.
video
I mean,
games?
as weird as it sounds, like for somebody who's not accustomed to YouTube and this type of stuff, they are just watching me play video games. It's crazy, but they like it, and it's huge. It's so huge.
You said you had some interaction with some of your subscribers and whatnot, and you said they were a little troubled. And how much communication do you have with them?
I mean, it's just, in the beginning when I first started YouTube, a lot of them would personally message me, and obviously I wasn't as big as at the time, so I was able to respond to them on a one-on-one basis. They're just telling me how they're getting bullied at school, how they're in trouble, how, people are picking on them and stuff like that, how they're depressed and stuff like that. So I would try my best to give advice, but now it's a little bit too much. Like, it's really hard for me to even check my inbox because there's just so many people. But I see in the comments down below, or if I make a video on bullying or hating, everyone relates to that as well. So
you in your video you were talking about height is not everything. When you're like just on fire and you're knocking shot after shot.
I played with this guy. He's unstoppable.
And in the commentary, he's talking while you're watching the video.
Yeah.
And he's talking about, height is not everything. And he's talking about, giving people motivation and empowering them and telling them it's about hustle and it's about fighting for what you want,
That's amazing.
and
crazy.
draining threes.
Mad respect, brother. Mad respect.
Thank you. I mean, it's so cool because whenever I go to the gym, if we play basketball, because, I grew up at IFS and, we obviously have no hops, so we just like to shoot.
Yeah.
So whenever I go to the gym and I get picked up, they're just thinking, oh, he's just some little brown kid. What's he going to do? So it's a good feeling just to, to prove people wrong and just, everybody can play basketball if you practice.
That's pretty sick.
You were mentioning that you like to give advice and as much as you can.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I noticed is a lot of times people, they have an incident in their life, and after that incident, like I'll give you an example before I ask my question, is you'll see, like, I don't know if you watch UFC or like MMA fighters, a lot of them got into fighting because they used to be bullied or some incident happened or, so that a lot of times when people are very sold on giving advice after something or even a video in your case, did you have like an incident? And I don't mean to pry into your personal, but do you have an incident after that you're like, you know what, once I do something amazing, I'm going to make sure I include advice all the time? Is it? Do you have anything like that? Or?
I mean, the most thing I could relate to that, I guess, is just the YouTube comments, in which when people would always call me these, racist terms. And obviously, who knows? If my channel maybe didn't grow the way it would grow, maybe those comments would really get to me right now. But just since the channel's grown, now if someone says stuff like this to me, I'll have my little subscribers back me up and, get them back.
And I always thought it's amazing how haters can make somebody amazing, right?
Yeah.
It makes them... That's amazing. I always thought that was such an awesome phenomenon, right?
Because you can really get drowned. And, like, I know so many YouTubers who get drowned and get depressed just because of all these hating comments and whatnot. But if you look only at the negatives, that's what's going to happen. You have to look at the positives.
Yeah, that's impressive, dude. Mad respect, brother.
talking about bullying and stuff. You started something, right?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a Facebook page and an Instagram page called Hating is Overrated.
Uh-huh.
So, I always say in my videos, treat others the way you would want to be treated. Hating is overrated. It's such a simple concept, but a lot of people just, don't implement that, I guess. And some people need reminders because, there's some people who would, curse at me and who would say something. But as soon as I would just reply very friendly, these people would instantly apologize and they would realize stuff like this. And obviously, like I said, all the people who would, come to me saying how depressed they are and whatnot, I'm also doing it for them. Yeah. So, just so people can, get their frustrations out and people can, realize that everyone should be treated right.
Okay. That's pretty. So what? How do people get in touch with that?
There's basically. I told all my viewers there's an email on the page and the Instagram page. There's also an email to submit. People just submit, what hating is overrated means to them, a picture of theirs, and then I just post it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's just like a story page.
Yeah, pretty much like Humans of New York.
Oh, I've seen that. Humans of New York is pretty sick. Yeah. That's actually really nice. There's another one too, like Muslims of the World. Or something.
I saw that on Instagram. Yeah,
that one's pretty cool too. I saw your channel. We'll put in the description box a link for that if whoever's interested. You have an Instagram page and everything too,
yes,
right?
Yes.
All right, dope. So, serious question. Will the Bulls make it?
If Jimmy Butler's playing the way he's playing right now, man, for the whole year.
Did you watch a game today?
I watched that game today, man. Wow.
I know you were tweeting it.
it was crazy.
For our listeners out there,
he dropped 42 points. 42 points.
Beat Jordan's record. You beat Jordan's record. It's crazy.
Jordan had what, 39?
I think so, 39, yeah.
Right? Dude, that's crazy.
That's impressive.
That's crazy. You went to the game the other day, right?
I did, the Knicks
New
game.
York. Yeah. How was that?
That was crazy. It's so cool to see these players in real life and just to realize how human they are because we see them on TV. We see, we look up to them, and they're, but we got to realize they're just regular people too.
Yeah.
Like for example, like when we were at the game, there was just like those little scenes where they show people around the crowd. Mm-hmm. The players would look at that, and if it's a funny thing, I would see look at the players. They're just laughing. They're just laughing at all the crowd and laughing at the halftime show, and they're just regular people.
Yeah,
they're just regular people.
That's funny. I always watch, all these little clips. The funniest thing is like when you see the bench.
Yeah.
Whenever someone does anything crazy, the bench, their reaction.
Yeah, they go crazy.
I think the Heat, they have an awesome bench, whatever. I saw a picture of you at the game. Mm-hmm. You went there in your pajamas, man. What's up?
That's cool.
It was so last second. Like we went there. We were just driving to the city. Like if we get tickets, we'll go. If we don't, we don't. We didn't even have tickets when we left the car. As soon as we entered, we just bought tickets on our phone. And the crazy thing is, when we got there, our tickets were not even valid. So that was like a big buzzkill. So they told us to call, StubHub and to get a refund, and we actually did get a refund, and they got us even better seats, which is really cool.
Oh, really? So you watched a free game?
No, we had it was more expensive.
Okay,
but yeah.
Oh, okay.
We still had to pay the original price. They just gave us better seats, but those tickets actually did not work either.
Oh,
so we had to go for a third time, which was like a really big buzzkill. But at that time, we just walked in. Like it was so busy, we just walked in.
Did you really want to see the Knicks or something? Or
my friend, he's a big time Knicks fan. So
oh, really?
He loves Melo.
Yeah.
Should have just came here. I mean,
Rose is still out, right?
Yeah, he's still out.
When's he supposed to come back?
Hopefully Tuesday. He's gonna get an MRI this week. So.
He has a hamstring thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's glass, dog. What's the?
He does get injured a lot. It's so bad for him, dude.
Very sad.
Who's the best player in the league right now? I mean, I know Curry.
Everyone says Curry, man, but I think like if you had to start your team with one player, it's LeBron for me.
Yeah.
He does everything.
Without a doubt.
What about KD?
I mean, he's my boy. I wonder if he still remembers me though. Like,
did you say something about that on your video? You're like, Rose is Rose, but I still love KD or something like that. I still remember that.
When I pulled him, like, he's my boy. He's been there for me for. Yeah. If I ever go to a game, like, hey D, do you remember me, man? Like, I would love to do that and see.
I'm
what
STG, brother.
Right? I shook your hand.
I went to one of those games. It was last year actually. The Bulls against the Thunder.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever seen the way KD plays. He's like this. He's an all-star, but the way he plays though, he's like very low key. Just by the end of the game, he dropped like I think he had 39 points by the end of that game. But he was just like, what do they call him? Slim Reaper?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like you don't know, dude. Next thing you know, this guy has 39, 40 points without really making too much of a noise. That guy's crazy.
He's crazy.
Westbrook is sick too.
That guy's not human. Like, he's not human. He doesn't care. He's like Kobe. He's just killer instincts.
Westbrook is he's sick. For anyone who's interested in getting to the YouTube market, would you say it's Is it saturated?
I mean, it definitely. There's a lot of people who do it, but it's actually very possible to do well as long as you put your time into it. I know an individual, who wanted to start YouTube, and he messaged me, a brother. And, he was really interested. He really wanted to join. And I told him, I gave him advice. I would talk to him. He's a Muslim brother, so I would talk to him all the time. I would tell him as much advice as I could. And he actually got the equipment. He started his YouTube channel. His YouTube channel started going very well, actually. And, he was getting, much better views than I got when I first started. But the thing is, immediately he wanted to, have his YouTube channel where mine and, some of my other YouTuber friends were, like, instantly. And that was not happening. And I told him, like, please, bro, don't give up. You're doing really well. Don't do this for the money. Just keep on working hard. And, he was just getting really frustrated. Some people didn't want to collaborate with him immediately. And, he was just starting to get really depressed because he quit his job for this. And, I was trying my best to, tell him, please, man, don't, you don't have to do this. Don't get too attached to this. And, unfortunately, I think he, got a stroke. And, alhamdulillah, I think he's doing better now. But
wow.
YouTube, depression can be real if you really, do this for the wrong reasons, of course. So. But it's really possible.
It's a lot about personality, too. I think KSI talked in one of his interviews. He was explaining that it's not about whether it's YouTube or not. It's about your personality. And if you can get people to tune in just to see your personality and who you are and your character, you don't even have to be like that in real life.
Mm-hmm.
But people are tuning in to see you being in character.
Exactly.
And if you can maintain that and you can keep it interesting, you'll always get the subscribers will come.
Yeah, that's so true.
What kind of opportunities have you gotten with YouTube? I know, like, for example, EA flew you out and everything. Has anything crazy happened?
Beside the commercial, this is a cool one. This past year, I was able to go. There's a studio in Chicago called NetherRealm Studios for a game called Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
So they invited me to play this game early. And when I went there, obviously since I do 2K videos, the people who were invited there were no other 2K YouTubers. So it was just all different types of YouTubers, from around the world. And this is my first exposure to see people which I really didn't know, because normally when I go to my 2K events, I know all these people. But these were all different YouTubers, and most of them were a lot bigger than me. And I was like the smallest one there. And I met a YouTuber there, which I couldn't believe. Because normally, I remember when people see me for the first time, they go crazy. They're so happy. When I saw this guy, it was like the first time where I literally was starstruck. Because I watch Jeremy Johns, he's a YouTube reviewer. I watch his reviews every single time I'll see a movie. I make sure to see his thoughts on it. And when I saw him live, I couldn't.
What'd you say to him? What'd you say?
I was just, I was like, hey, man, I'm a big fan. He's like, thank you. And I didn't really know anybody, so I was just chilling with him the whole time. And finally I have the guts. I'm like, hey, man, can we just take a selfie, bro? Like, I need a picture with you, man. So, it was really cool.
That's awesome. That's real, dude.
That's awesome. Are you the only YouTuber that does 2K?
Oh, no, there's a lot. And, I'm grateful because last year I started like a little a YouTube network, which you can partner individuals to become a YouTube partner to get money on their videos and to gain more exposure. So, because of that, and the videos that I made telling, you can follow your dreams, you can become a YouTuber, you can become a YouTube partner, live your dreams and whatnot. So many, brand new 2K commentators have come through that network as well. So it's really big. A lot of commentators to YouTube for 2K.
Do you also play competitively? Is there YouTube championships?
I don't really play competitively, but there was a tournament that happened, a couple months ago, which I took place in and got last place, and because of that, I had some consequences. So it was pretty painful.
So I know earlier you said initially the haters was a big deal. Now obviously with everything going on, is there a spike in the amount of haters you have, or is everything is it the same?
Obviously the bigger you grow, the hater will come. I guess just my filter and I can just channel it off better, but there's always going to be haters, all the time. If you go on my comments, there will be people hating all the time. Sometimes one dude actually made a Twitter just, basically hating on me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Twitter name was just to hate on me.
Oh my god,
it's pretty crazy.
Well, he's doing publicity for you. Think about it that way.
Exactly.
There's no such thing as negative publicity. He's making you popular, man.
Of course. So, I don't mind it at all.
That's actually flattering.
It is flattering.
He took his time to do that, to make an email, to make a password.
Right?
Wow.
Props to you, man.
Props to you. That's awesome attitude, man. Even your haters, you give them back good. You say, man, props to you.
Of course.
That's very respectful.
Because a lot of the times, like I said, they're just little kids are confused because normally when someone hates on me, I just reply like "Thanks, man" or "LOL" or something like that, and then they actually feel bad and they realize, "Wow, you know what? That was my fault," and then they apologize.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I noticed. So I follow you on Instagram, and I noticed whenever you always have some motivating, some caption, whatever. It's awesome. But I noticed you always put, IA or AH or anything. Do people know what that means? I mean, I know obviously Muslim people do, but do people ask you like the non-Muslim?
Yeah, sometimes some people ask me, and I always tell them, grateful to God and whatnot. But so many people now like are so used to me saying that. Sometimes in the comments when people ask, just Muslims will just reply, what it means.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome. Going back to is the YouTube thing, is that something do you see yourself doing it for a long time?
Honestly, I see myself doing it for as long as it lasts because, there was a time, even this past year, I was taking a little bit of a break and I was just looking at my future. But, it's crazy because when I upload a video, just to see how happy these individuals are based on the comments of me uploading a video and how much they look up to me and whatnot, or, where's the video sub, stuff like that, it's a responsibility, I guess, and, I'm grateful for it, so I can't stop.
Are you going to go branch out and do like vlogs and other stuff that other YouTubers are doing for their fans? What other areas can you expand into?
Definitely. That's something that I was definitely thinking of doing vlogs. Because as I went to that Bulls game, I talked about it. And people really like seeing stuff like that. Or, I ate a ghost pepper recently. Nothing to do with, 2K. But
I want to know about the ghost pepper thing.
Yeah, that was...
I saw the video for that. Why'd you do it, man?
That's pretty much, that tournament, the competitive 2K thing I was talking about.
Oh.
I lost. And that was the punishment.
God.
So...
Wow.
That was the most... one of the scariest things I've had to do because in the back of my mind I was thinking it is a video, I could just get a regular pepper, they're not gonna know, but I was like, you know what, go big or go home. So I tried it, and literally right before I was about to eat it, I literally went and watched reviews, and people were like, don't do this if you have sanity, don't do this, people have died doing this. I'm like, wow, I don't want to die.
They said that people have died?
They said like people have like serious hospital issues.
I know people that went to the hospital before,
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm interested in this is I used to love eating very spicy food, and I went to a mall and I got the ghost pepper paste. They obviously the in that it's like a Tabasco looking bottle, but
yeah.
And I would just put one drop. And I think, remember at the UFC event, I bought it that one time?
Yeah.
And we pulled a prank on our friend. So we put it underneath the pepperoni. Even one drop is super spicy.
It's a halal pepperoni, by the way.
Yeah. Yes.
We got haters already.
Drew. So when you ate the whole thing, somebody told me that you ate an entire pepper. And I was like, dude, I don't know anybody personally. And you have to order it online, right?
Yeah, I had to get it through Amazon.
Wow. And did it come with a few in one or just one?
It came with a lot. And I think after I finished, I told my family, throw this away. I don't want no one eating this.
So what was the afterburn? Like, how long did it burn for?
It lasted for like 30 minutes. And, I guess
oh my God.
And I guess I made a really big mistake because I was drinking water with it.
Yeah, you're supposed to drink milk, man.
Yeah. The thing is, milk was filling me up. I was like, I can't do this. I'm going to throw up. So.
No, what I actually heard is that you're supposed to chew bread and get that spiciness absorbed out of
Exactly.
your
It
tongue.
acts like a sponge, right?
Milk, I heard ice cream as well. But I was just so in the moment, and I was feeling it in my ears. It was so weird.
Wow.
So weird.
Stomach issues after that or no?
Oh, just for a couple hours, but I think it was just mentally. It was just
hours? Wow.
I wonder how it compares to the Thai spices. Just a few days ago.
No, this is the ghost pepper is what, 20,000 Scovilles?
It's
the
definitely
units?
a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and that compared to a jalapeno, it's like 2,000.
I think it's in the millions or something, right?
I thought it was a millions.
It could be. I know it's like a huge difference between jalapeno and habanero, and the ghost pepper is just off the charts.
Yeah, it was. I was really, literally trying my best. Like, people in the comments saying, wow, we were so impressed with your reaction. You really manned it out.
Yeah, I thought, for a second, I thought it was fake. It's like, is this really a ghost pepper? Because I'm not seeing him crying.
Yeah,
I've seen people cry.
Seriously. I was like, because I saw reactions after, but I was just like, man, people are going to be watching me on camera. I got to be a man. I can't be a baby. But it was tough. It was really tough.
Man.
At one point, I thought I was going to throw up. I was like, what's going on? I got to go to the doctor now. It was really freaky at one point, but,
Just a few days ago, actually, we went to this Thai restaurant in the city. It's called Fo's, I think. Mm-hmm. And so they have different dishes, right? But then there's different levels of spice. So there's light, there's medium, there's spicy, there's very spicy, whatever, very hot, whatever. And then after that, there's level 1, level 2, level 3, right?
Mm-hmm. It goes up to level 20.
Yeah, up to level 20. Which
wow.
I don't know how it exists. These guys do level 1. I do, mild. I do mild. I enjoyed my food though; it was really good. But I tried level 1, dude. I was lit up.
Wow.
Yeah.
We love spicy food, and we cannot handle beyond that level 1.
No.
And there's like a wall of people's pictures who've done level 20 or even level 5.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
5. Wow.
Yeah,
It's that hot.
and there was a guy who did level 20.
Gentlemen,
Wow.
I'm on the website. I'm on this website for the heat scale of ghost peppers, and it's 1 million.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
And what is a jalapeno?
Jalapeno is 5,500 to 4,500.
Oh no way!
The habanero is 200,000.
Oh no
That's
way!
impressive. The Thai peppers are. Yeah,
I had 2.5 habaneros. I didn't know what they were. Someone's dad gave it to me. He was growing them in his backyard, and he came by. He's like, "Oh, you can handle spicy food." I'm like, "Yeah, give it to me." What? I had no idea what a habanero was, and I popped one in my mouth. And habanero, apparently, it doesn't activate right away. It takes a few seconds. So I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I feel it, but it's all right. Give me another one. Look, I'll show him." Popped in another one, and then I'm like, I feel my heartbeat just climbing, and then the beads of sweat just pouring down my head.
No.
And then by the third one, I'm like a bit like into it, and then I'm just in meltdown, just pouring sweat. Go to the run to the washroom, start washing my mouth out. He brought me a big loaf of bread. And his son's getting mad. I'm like, why did you do that to him?
He thought he was a man, so I gave it to him.
That's crazy. You'll never forget that one, man.
That was crazy.
That's so funny. Talking about food, I know you're a big food guy, right?
I mean, I just
Do you do competitive eating?
What?
Do you do competitive
No
eating?
way.
Oh, okay.
No,
I thought that's what you meant. But anyways,
no,
yeah,
he
go ahead.
always Instagrams pictures of food, gyros, all that good
I
stuff.
I just ate gyros right now. I love gyros.
Do you cook too?
No, I
you
wish.
don't?
I can
Okay.
make popcorn, but I really want to learn how to cook because I watch so many cooking shows, but I don't know how to cook. It's really weird.
I used to watch cooking shows while I was fasting.
There you go.
Have you seen Star Wars?
Of course.
What'd you think of it?
I liked it. It was cool because, like, my grandmother, my whole family, they would watch these movies, like, in the 80s and whatnot with their whole family. And it's the first time, literally, like, all 10 of us from the household and, cousins and whatnot, we all watched this movie all together, just like they would back in the day. So that was really cool.
So you watch 1 through 6?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I watched-
Subhan Muhammad here. He saw Star Wars without watching a single.
I watched 1, 2, 3.
You didn't watch 1, 2.
I watched
did you?
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Okay, but I was very upset with him because I forced my wife to watch all of them before watching the new one.
Of course.
I'm like, I don't care if you don't want. Like, you're not just going to be one of these people who just because it's popular, you're gonna go and watch it. No.
And then they criticize it too.
Exactly.
Like, we didn't see it.
Oh my god, the amount of commentary I'd have to hear while she was watching the first 6 movies. Like, oh, it's boring. What are these weird? I hate that Chewy guy. He's making those weird noises.
You made her watch all 6?
Oh, I made her watch all 6.
It's like 2 days of her life.
Wow.
I watched 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, dude. They remain in the 70s. Dude. I'm not watching that.
It's not
Those were
easy.
the good ones, though. You missed the good ones.
I'm not watching that, man. So I Wikipedia'd it, and so I was good.
On
Watch
YouTube,
number-
watch the fights at least,
Yeah.
all the
Like,
fights.
the Star Wars part, Darth Vader, I'm your father, like, you get those are
Oh yeah, I've seen that. That's like really popular. And
Of course,
everything,
yeah.
right? Just before he dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that, and then I watched number 7. I didn't care. I mean, I thought it was a good movie though. I thought it was really good. You liked it? Did you like it better than the other ones? Or
I mean, I really liked it. I mean, I'm really happy. I want to see more movies. I think they're going to make 3, right?
Yeah.
So
I think-
that's really.
I think they're supposed to make 1 every
And
year.
then I
right?
think they're going to make a Han Solo movie also.
Yeah, I heard like a spin-off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Every other year.
that'll be
so.
fun.
Oh man.
But my disappointment was that I wanted to see a continuation from the books because it felt like this was a reboot of episode 4. So I was kind of let down by that because I was expecting a whole new story, and it felt like I was watching episode 4 all over again.
That's what a lot of people say.
So that was my main gripe with it. But other than that, everything else was done really well. There's some minor annoyances, like the one of the fight scenes where
It started with an
what
F or
was it?
something, right?
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
forgot, it's Finn.
yeah,
Finn.
Finn. So he gets into a fight with Kylo Ren, and you'd think that a Sith Lord would just slice him in half, like within the first few moves, because you see in the first scene, that Sith Lord is he's not any schmuck. He was able to stop that laser beam like in its track.
Yeah.
So he had some good skills. That kind of upset me. I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? These guys fighting him like a Jedi, you know?
Yeah.
That's so true.
So that was my minor annoyances that I saw. But I would still give it a good 8 out of 10.
Yeah, it was definitely amazing.
Yeah.
The thing that the kind of like, Han Solo, what happened to Han Solo?
Right.
I don't know if we could say what happened.
We can say whatever we want, man.
I mean, I'm not
Gotta
going
say
to do
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert! Something
I
happens.
think you already spoiled.
Something happens to Han Solo. But I was on my phone right before the movie started, and I was getting my Instagram notifications, and I was just looking at it, and I was seeing these little kids swearing at each other. I'm like, what in the world's going on? So I go to the comments because I announced, I'm seeing Star Wars with my family, and I go to the comments, and in bold caps, right before the movie starting, Han Solo. I was like, are you serious? I just want to see what these kids were like yelling at each other for. Like, why you gotta be so mean to him? Why you gotta ruin movies with his family? I'm like, oh man.
Is it? You said you had your notifications on. Is it like that for you a lot? Like, do you keep up with the conversation that's going on? Or
I mean, on Instagram, I tend to, yeah, because it's not as much as YouTube and whatnot.
Do you have Twitter also?
Yes.
Wow. So are you keeping track of Twitter and Instagram, or just?
Yeah, Instagram and Twitter I'm always in tag with. YouTube is a little bit harder,
Yeah.
but Twitter and Instagram is really easy to be in tag with.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, so what's next for you then, man? It's a new year, man. What's up? What's your
Brand new year, right? Pretty
new
much
year, new me, right?
new me. Just to keep on working. I mean, obviously, with YouTube, I also want to start doing some other stuff as well, like maybe launching a website, a gaming website and stuff like that. So obviously, I want to focus on YouTube, but I also want to focus on other stuff as well, and also, making the things I've already launched last year, just foundationalizing and making them better, like the YouTube channel, the Hating is Overrated page, just making it more known and whatnot. Obviously, focus on my studies as well because that's really important too.
What was the motivation for the Hating is Overrated? Was that just the past, or was it something that
all the
happened?
people who would talk to me and just a cause I guess I believe in and whatnot. Also, I mean, some motivation, I'm not gonna lie, is kind of like Donald Trump, I guess, how he always talks about Muslims and all that. So I guess I want to prove like Muslims could do stuff too, and they're not just who you think they are and whatnot. So.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I think plenty of Muslims have proved that.
Of course, right now, seriously, right? Like, yeah.
And as far go ahead.
It's funny, when he tweeted what Obama said something about Muslims are a big part of America or whatever, and then Trump tweeted it's like who are you talking about, what Muslims, and I think Muhammad Ali retweeted
Muhammad Ali,
that.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, they tweeted
so
it.
boss.
It was like this idiot dude doesn't know what's going on. But go ahead.
But as far as your Islamic studies are concerned, how much longer do you have, and do you plan on continuing that also, or?
So basically this ends in May.
Nice.
And if a part-time option is available after for following years, inshallah, I will do that, inshallah.
Very awesome. Well, I teach Arabic, dude. Anytime you want a free lesson, just let me know, dude.
Of course. I mean, I actually got to do my homework today, too. So.
Yeah, no
Shameless
problem.
plug, man.
No, not at all. No, it's not even a plug. I'm not even going to charge. I don't charge, dude. Whatever. You know where to find me, man. So
I mean, the one thing I learned, like, while being in this program is you know nothing.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing about knowledge, dude. The more you learn, you realize how ignorant you are.
Mm-hmm. That's so true.
And then you don't have any room to be arrogant, no matter who you are and how high you climb. And that's awesome. We see that in you, man. Mashallah, you're a man of many talents, a young man of many talents. And one awesome thing one type of inspiration I got from this is I was like, dude, I got to learn how to multitask too now. I got to know how to, divide my time properly and disperse everything. It's very nice, man. It's awesome. Somebody as young as you, we're all so much older than you, but, we're still learning, you know what I'm saying? It's amazing.
I'm not that much older. I'll throw it out there.
We're classmates, man.
We're all uncles, dude. Get out of here. We are all uncles.
You guys.
Subhan, a lot of young guys, young Muslim brothers and sisters, in junior high school, they're having difficulty dealing with talking to non-Muslims and feeling socially awkward. Mm-hmm. Being a person who's dealing with people from all over the world, what kind of advice would you give these young guys guys and girls?
Well, I mean, one thing possibly is just to find something that, they can relate with them with. Like, for example, if you're 13, 14 years old and you have these, group of individuals. Talk about something that you guys have a mutual interest in. Talk about gaming. Talk about basketball.
Yeah.
They'll see how real you are. They'll see how much you relate, and you're just a regular person just like them.
Yeah.
And, if you're a girl, talk about makeup. I mean,
Yeah.
my little cousin watches makeup videos on YouTube, and so many other girls watch that type of stuff, too. There's so many things that people could relate with
Right.
that they don't think they relate with other people with, but if they just, make the initiative and try, it's so true.
Yeah, I tell my daughters, just pretend you're not even wearing your hijab, and just talk to people just how you normally would, and you'll see how many barriers you'll just break just by being yourself and ignoring that you're not focusing on the fact that you're wearing a hijab and people might be viewing you differently. The more you're focusing it on it, and the more other people are noticing that about you also, because they're seeing
Interesting.
you're feeling awkward all the time. So
That's amazing advice.
yeah,
I noticed in school too that that's like we go to the same school.
Yeah.
And it's always there's too many cliques. I mean, it's
a
us
lot.
versus them.
Mhm.
It's like the circles. I think Muslims or whatnot. They just kind of keep to themselves,
Yeah.
and like you don't know anyone else. And just I don't know. I mean, I never liked that. I never liked that. But it's one of those things like you surround yourself with people you're comfortable with, and it kind of makes sense. But
but
then
I understand that, but also there's a lot of Muslims. They feel like they're going to compromise too much, making non-Muslims their main circle, and I know what they're going through also. So they're feeling that if they're around Muslims more than a non-Muslim, they're more willing to stay on course with regarding Islam and being
Especially
under
at
deen,
that college age too.
Yeah,
Because they want to try to be as safe as possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it has to be safety. But I guess that's why we're here. We have to let them know that you have to know how to pick your battles. And just because somebody is doing something completely different than you, and I'll give you an example. Just because somebody that you know or a friend of yours does something that goes against the teachings of Islam, it doesn't mean you disown yourself from them. Right?
right.
You just don't avoid them when they're in that situation, when they're doing something, whether it be drinking, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you can't be nice to them. And the same thing goes with non-Muslims too. You have to understand that they're just two different types of human beings. But like he said, like you mentioned, that like Subhan said, you just have to find these commonalities amongst each other.
Let's not also take. You have to do some self-reflection and know what kind of person you are. Are you able to be the one who can stand your ground and say, no, you know what, you can have that glass of beer. No thanks.
Yeah.
Some people, they're not that they can't say no, or they'll feel like they can be easily pressured into
True.
bad situations. So you have to know yourself, and you have to think about different scenarios. I always talk to my daughters about scenarios and putting yourself in a scenario before that scenario actually happens, so that you're more ready for it and you can prepare yourself. Sometimes you get blindsided by a question, you don't know what to say, and you end up going along with the person when you really didn't want to go along with it. So always try to prepare yourself in different scenarios, and so that you never get blindsided.
That's awesome. That's awesome advice, man. That is.
yeah, it's interesting. Does your audience, do they know that you're Muslim, or does that ever really even come into play?
I mean, I kind of do give them a lot of clues.
Uh-huh.
I think I have said I am Muslim before, but I mean, I don't say it all the time. But I mean, sometimes when I'm making a video in my room, I literally have like the Makkah and the Kaaba right behind me, and people will still in the comments say he's Chinese. No, he's Chinese. He's Mexican.
They'll try to guess what you are.
I'm like, bro, there's a Kaaba right behind me. My name is Subhan. I publicly announce my name is Subhan, but I don't know. But a lot of people do know I'm Muslim.
Wow.
Do people ever ask you like, "Hey, what's up? What do you?"
Yeah, sometimes people ask me, and I'll tell them, yeah, I'm Muslim.
And do they ask you specifically? Oh, do they ask you like those questions like what does Islam say about this, or no? Do you?
They probably won't ask that in the comments, but I mean, I'm just still amazed, like how this many people could support and watch a brown Muslim. Like, it's pretty shocking.
Yeah.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah, when I heard about you, I was shocked, because I'm like, oh man, you're just constantly being told that, oh, no one likes you, or no one likes Muslims, and this is the narrative that we're trying to push away that the Trump and his followers are what 30-40% of America. I don't think that's entirely true. I think they're much smaller than that.
I agree.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense that so many people would be coming to the aid of Muslims in terms of just rallying to their cause and saying that they reject what Trump says. It doesn't make sense at all that
he's just
Trump
trying to
has
make this country great again.
Right.
It's funny you said the Chinese thing. I have a confession to make. When I first saw you, I thought you were like Indonesian or something. I think it's Malaysian or Indonesian, dude.
Okay.
So I can get the Chinese thing.
Okay.
People who can't tell the difference. I'm just putting that out there, dude.
Sure. I mean, I've got a Mexican, I've got a Palestinian, I've got everything. So totally cool.
With whenever you get invited to these places, I mean, even being this YouTube celebrity, I don't know if you even claim to be a celebrity or not, but I'm sure you have access to certain things. I mean, or a certain crowd, right? What do you do about that? Like about do you know what I mean? Like,
like crowd.
Like, for example, if someone says, "Hey, we're doing this. Like, do you want to come with us?" Say something haram or whatever, like, or clubbing, or
okay,
or things like that. Do you? I'm sure that comes up every now and then.
It's
right?
come, but I mean, sometimes you just make an excuse or you just say no. I mean, I'm so happy I have basketball. That's like the best outlet I can. At nighttime when people do something, I mean, I got basketball. So that's definitely my scapegoat for sure.
Yeah, sports
or for example, when you were at that San Diego convention, now a lot of young Muslims who aren't exposed to that kind of camaraderie, being around a lot of friends of similar-minded people, they can get caught up into difficult spots and difficult situations. Hey, Subhan, come on, we're all going to grab a beer, join us, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I mean, we were at a hotel and there was a bar. And, at that time I wasn't 21, so I was just outside just with another individual who was under 18. But, sometimes they would bring in pizza. And that time the only pizza, it was all pepperoni pizza. Yeah. So, I mean, I just couldn't eat it. Yeah. And, I just said, water's fine with me. I guess you got to be strong.
No, people respect you for it too, man. I know that it is a difficult situation, but... people respect you for your principles, man. That's the awesome thing.
Oh yeah. My coworker, he gets me for Christmas. He gets me this sparkling juice, and I was playing a prank on one of them. Some of my other coworkers who didn't know that this coworker would always give me these sparkling juices. They're like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and drink alcohol today. And they're like, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah. Look, he gave it to me, and he got them regular wine and whatever, And I open it up and like, watch. You sure you won't? and I put it to my mouth and I start drinking it. And you know what? The surprise, their face was disappointing. They were so disappointed in me. They were because I thought they would be like, oh cool, he's one of us now. He's gonna be drinking. We can go to the bar now. But they were genuinely disappointed. Like what? So
wow.
So what was it that you were drinking?
It was sparkling juice.
Oh, okay, good.
You know how they look like wine bottles.
I know.
Sure.
No, that was a cover story.
I know.
That's funny.
Funny guy.
You played how did your game go yesterday?
Oh, we lost our first game, but we won our second game.
Did you play? You had a sprained ankle, right?
I had a sprained ankle, and also I had new shoes. So when you break them in, it's like really, it pinches against your foot. So like every time I would walk, there would be pain. Like my socks were bleeding and whatnot. Like it sucks, but it comes when you get your brand new shoes.
How many points you drop?
Uh-oh.
I know you counted. I know you know.
He's being modest. Are you a sneakerhead? You look like a total dude to be a type of sneakerhead.
I'm actually not.
Oh, you're not?
I mean,
okay.
like during my college days, I mean, I guess I'm pretty simple. Sweatpants every day,
Very cool.
shoes and a sweater, or a shirt.
KD's all the way, all the time?
If he's listening, yes. But,
Jay's?
Just Nikes.
Nikes, yeah, very cool.
Kobe's my favorite player, so I love Nike.
Nice, very nice.
Cool.
I like those high top, the EXTs that they have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think they look real cool. They're made off of boxing shoes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're based off of boxing shoes. He wanted to make them look like boxing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, boxing boots. So I always thought those were really cool looking.
You talking about those Kobe Elites? Or?
Yeah, Elites, exactly. Elites. Yeah,
those things are nice.
They come up to like half of the shin.
Yeah, they're so nice. Dude.
They're kind of a pain putting on. I tried putting them on once. But once you have them on, they're very comfy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Everyone told me you're his biggest fan. Why didn't you get his shoes? After yesterday, I might have to return these and get those.
No, it's a good investment, but what people do is they take the sole of the LeBrons out and they put them inside of there so it's a little more snug.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
that
it
makes
gets,
sense.
yeah, it gets a lot more comfier.
Okay.
Yeah, try it out.
I think I'm gonna have to, because I don't think even if you get brand new shoes, you shouldn't be like bleeding off your feet.
yeah. No, you get. I mean, if you invest in good shoes, there's a reason why they're that expensive. Too,
Of course.
You know?
Yep.
You get what you pay for, man.
That's so true.
You make a good investment, you don't have to spend a lot of money later. You know,
Dude, my favorite are the Kobe's, man.
Yeah, I
I
need
think
those.
the best shoes right now.
they
man.
look real nice.
They're the
yeah.
best ones. I think he just came out with the 10s, right? The
Yeah.
Kobe 10s.
Mhm.
Yeah. But
they're-
comfort wise, I'm Jordans all the way, dude. I like Jordans, dude. Comfort wise, Jordans.
I mean, Jordan's whatever to me. Never-
That's what you guys
In
didn't grow up
terms
in
of
that
shoes,
era.
I hope.
Yeah, you guys like you guys are talking about basketball and all that kind of stuff, but the last full game I actually watched from beginning to end is when Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman were on the same team.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
But that's when I used to watch every game. My dad used to watch with us too, and our whole family used to watch together. But those are the real days.
Those
of
are the good
basketball.
Oh
days.
my
Yeah.
god, my parents still say
I wouldn't deny it.
ever since Jordan left, they're like, forget
Yep.
basketball.
Yeah, dude.
Because like, basketball's not the same at all. They can, no matter how close the Bulls were in the playoffs and how far they went, they would refuse to watch it because Jordan's just not there anymore. It's not
Yeah.
the same.
And when that trio, Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, first of all, Pippen became awesome because of Jordan.
yeah.
And then they had the rebounder, Rodman, and when them three, it was just, obviously I don't want to say perfection, but it was amazing watching. You could see the talent. And it seemed like that was paving the way for the new era of basketball,
Yeah.
right? Obviously, you could talk about Will Chamberlain, all those guys. They paved a certain thing, but the bar was raised when those three were on the same
Yeah,
team.
I mean that 72-10 season. I
Oh.
literally saw every single game
Yep,
that season.
I know.
Wow.
And it's literally what people are going through with Golden State this year.
Yep.
It was like that.
Like the hype.
Oh my god! And we didn't have social media, so
That would have been crazy.
So if it was like social media with these three guys,
oh my
yeah.
god.
man,
I think they would have been a lot more popular, obviously.
Oh yeah. Game over.
have you seen all those the Bulls games?
I mean, I saw some highlights, but I was like 4 or 5 years old back
Oh,
then. So
okay.
yeah. I mean, apparently I was a fan, according to my uncles. But I was like 3 years old, just probably jumping on their
oh
backs.
yeah. My son is 5, and when we watch sports, he can follow along. So you probably were watching and you just don't remember it.
Just jumping and
When people see, that type of, even at such a young age, man, I think I used to watch basketball maybe when I was 5 or 6 years old. And even football. I used to watch football when Walter Payton was playing.
yeah.
I was probably like 5 years old. And when you see what's near perfection, everyone can sense that.
Mhm.
When you see amazement, you know what you're seeing,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You can't make full sense of it at a young
Yeah.
age, but you're seeing something.
When I came to this country, I was 5 years old. We came from Saudi Arabia, and we came right after the Bears won the Super Bowl in '85. And I remember seeing the Super Bowl shuffle on TV.
Yep, I used to remember. I
what's
memorized
going
it back in the day.
Yeah, it was crazy because the Super Bowl the '85 Bears were. If anyone doesn't know football, the '85 Bears are consensus ijma. They were the greatest team of all time. You can watch that on NFL Network if you want.
Yeah.
But and these guys were so cocky that they made the Super Bowl shuffle even before they even won the Super Bowl. They knew they were going to win it.
Yeah,
It's-
because they had Walter Payton, baby. That's why.
Oh, they had much more than Walter Payton. They had a lot of other players. He was their centerpiece, though.
Yeah, he was. He was the Michael Jordan of football, basically. Yeah.
So I've heard.
You ever watching him with highlight reels?
So Subhan's looking at
I
it.
watch highlights.
These
but-
two old guys are reminiscing the old
I know,
days.
we're like the two old guys. We're like, oh, you guys don't have basketball. We had basketball.
We had
we
Bill
had
Cutler.
football. We had it all. You guys have nothing. That's what we are. We're those old guys.
I was watching. I never watched him play. I mean, it's before my time. It's like Star Wars. I'm not watching that. But there was this hill he used to work out at over here in Chicago, the Walter Payton Hill. But they took it down though. Have you ever seen those training videos? Have you seen this one?
The
Dude,
gravel and
Dude, it was the craziest thing. This guy would so he had cleats, right?
Yeah.
And he would tape his legs up all the way to like mid shin, right? Literally taped up, and he would climb this hill back and forth, like
Wow.
literally up and down.
that was his training.
Yeah.
His endurance training.
And that was the Walter Payton hill, the hill, and it was crazy just from what it looked like. I never saw him play. I didn't care.
Do you guys know that Walter Payton played as a QB too once in one
Yeah.
game?
Really?
They won that game too. Yeah.
Wow.
He played as a QB.
The whole
you're
game?
Right.
The whole game?
Yeah, well, I think Jim McMahon was injured,
Oh, man.
and he played as I think he played QB in college or something or high school,
Uh-huh.
but he was still good, and they won that game too.
No way.
Yeah, dude.
That's so cool.
Yeah, Walter Payton.
QB sneaks would be like
He
overpowered.
was the first Michael Vick.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Let me do a fact check on that just in case. Because I don't want to.
Subhan, do you remember Michael Vick? Are you that young?
I remember Falcons, Michael Vick.
Wow.
Yeah,
The Falcons Michael Vick was sick.
I love that one.
I used to play Madden. This is back in the day, back in what 07 or something.
Yeah.
And then I'd always pick him. And then
It was so unfair.
Yeah, I'd always
hated
play
those players. You were one of those players I hated.
I liked
Yeah.
the Vikings back then and the Eagles.
No, but the reason I'd pick Michael Vick is because he could always run.
Yes.
And then I'd play against computer. Dude, the game's like 2-minute quarters, whatever.
Oh, man.
It'd go to like 42 zip, dude. I'm just rocking him. I don't play defense. I let the computer do its thing.
Random plays. Just,
Vic
Yeah.
was so frustrating to play online back in Madden 08 and 07. People were just doing these bootlegs, and you'd have to always manually control your players, and it was just frustrating as heck. At the moment you join a match and you see the guy scrolling up and he picks the Falcons, these games.
Man. How do you counter it?
You don't. You let it happen.
You have to do a lot of manual controls and some changes in individual audibles and whatnot. But it was frustrating.
Are you into football too, or are you just strictly
Not as much as basketball. I mean,
Okay.
I used to keep up with the Bears this year, and then after like 2 weeks ago, I just stopped.
Yeah, this year I'm taking it off.
Yeah,
They're not making the
From
playoffs,
football.
right?
No,
they're done.
Yeah, they're done.
Sorry, gentlemen. Over his career, Walter Payton threw 8 touchdown passes.
Wow.
An
Wait.
NFL record for non-quarterback, including one which was in his 1984 game.
Wow.
Wow. Against the
pretty
Green Bay
impressive.
Packers.
Were they a dynasty, or is it just like that single
the
season?
problem is they should have been a dynasty, but they had internal problems where they were having difficulty with management and coaching. I think just a few players left, but they should have won the next year also, but they didn't, and it was one of the biggest tragic, non-death related tragic in terms of
First world problem.
the amount of exactly first world problem, but the amount of talent the team having. I guess kind of like the Miami Heat, right?
Yeah.
You'd see they should have won so much more.
Yeah.
That's what's going to be written about the Heat. Like, wow, you had that much and
Lost.
lost that many times. How many
So
times?
since you're not going for the Bulls this year, right? Or are you?
Of course I'm gonna
you're-
go for the
Oh, yeah,
Bulls.
okay.
He's a
He's not a
Chicagoan,
bandwagoner,
man.
dude.
He's a Chicagoan, man. Of course he is.
Who's your backup? I'm a bandwagon guy. I go whatever.
We
team is
appreciate
good.
your honesty.
Yeah, I'm straight up. Now I'm on the Warriors. You know what I mean? When they start
Of course.
sucking, I'll jump on the next one. Who do you have going on the?
I mean,
going all the way?
if I had to pick from the East beside the Bulls, obviously it's Cleveland. From the West, I mean, low key, I think it might be the Spurs. I think they're so underrated.
Yeah, the Spurs always go though.
They're just 4 games behind the Warriors, and
Wow.
Oh, really?
just 4 games, and people act like. And Warriors are amazing. Don't get me wrong, but this Spurs team is only 4 games behind.
Greg
Don't-
Popovich, man,
He's
the
crazy.
Bill Belichick of the NBA. He's just an insane coach.
Yeah,
Everyone hates Belichick though. That's the problem. I think everyone likes.
They hate him because they're jealous too. I hated the New England Patriots, and then I started liking them because everyone started hating them. So I'm like, you know what?
They're winners.
I
man.
gotta
I
be a
like-
little different.
the greatness.
I gotta like them now.
Guess the hated always prosper, huh?
So your degree was in what? Business and you said marketing
Business management and psych.
and psych.
Minor, yeah.
So, is that always what you planned on doing, or did you? wanna
No,
do
I was
med school?
actually science my first year and a
med
half.
school route.
We had classes together, man. Bio class, bio lab. It was remember bio lab we had? It was,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, this guy. I remember this class. This guy would always walk in late, and I'm not talking just late. This guy 10, 20 minutes late.
good times. I would be like tired and everything. So I was science my first couple of years, my first year and a half, and then my my final year. I realized, I guess, I think I'm more business orientated.
Mm-hmm.
But even now that I'm graduated, I do want to go back and just get that knowledge that I missed out on. Just because I guess my intention changed. One of my teachers said, if you want to study science, why don't you study, appreciating the miracles of God. So that really changed. Like, wow, I kind of want to learn all that stuff again. Back then, it's just got to be a doctor, 8 years, and yeah.
And any of the stuff that you learn as far as in your studies in business, and do you apply that stuff on your YouTube channel or the mindset? to
Oh,
your
all the
YouTube?
time.
Very
It's
cool.
all the time.
Awesome.
All the time.
Have you learned anything in the Alum course where you're like, wow, like you know, talking about miracles. I know miracles. You know, it's one of those things like everyone likes to talk about. Like, what have you learned in it?
I mean, the biggest thing we learn is just the mentality, I guess. Like, always, first and foremost, just to be always grateful for everything, right? Because, you know, I see so many YouTubers, sometimes their channels are not going as well as they want it to be, or it's not as well as it used to be, and then they become depressed. I mean, even sometimes now, my channel might not be blossoming as well as it was, just because of the time. But when you have a state of gratefulness and you realize how much you have compared to, you know, people who don't even know if they're gonna see their family the next day, you know, when you apply that stuff into your life, then there's nothing you could hate, you could be you know, ungrateful for, because we have so much. So that's one of the biggest things.
That's golden advice, man. That's golden advice.
Yeah. Being a vet in YouTube, I mean, you know, obviously we're starting this thing off too with this podcast. So what advice would you give us? I
mean, just to get everyone on board on Facebook, tell all your friends to share it.
Thank you. You know what? I had this conversation with these two guys earlier, and they're anti-Facebook.
We're not anti-Facebook.
Joined Facebook. What are they? I'm supposed to be the old guy. I'm the old guy. I'm on Facebook, and these young hipsters. Well, he's not that young.
He's only a year and a half younger than you do. Right? Thank you.
But I mean, he's a scholar too. So a lot of scholars do self-promotion. Mashallah, you know, this is a great scholar who doesn't do self-promotion, but. Well, we need to.
There's not a great scholar. There's many great scholars.
No, in terms of not not doing a whole lot of promoting yourself.
Except for his Arabic classes.
No, this is just from brother to a brother, dude. No, the thing is that and I know we're joking around, but the amount of different tasks this individual is doing is amazing, dude.
Yeah.
Mashallah. And I was like, if I can help him on his Arabic, dude, I'm gonna help him on his Arabic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's actually a good teacher.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Now you're giving him a big
Appreciate it.
Now he's going to get his Facebook account.
Yes, someone compliments me. Facebook. That's how I think.
No, he's actually good. You know what's funny? In that bio lab class we had together, I didn't know who this guy was. I just knew he was.
Thought he was Malaysian? Indonesian?
No, he was just late. I was what's this guy doing? But I didn't know you had this the YouTube thing or anything. You know, it's funny, like the way you carry yourself. I mean, it's just like, it's really just another guy, honestly. Like I really didn't know he had YouTube. I didn't know who he was.
That's awesome.
Whatever. I didn't know you could ball. I didn't even know. I would have been nicer.
I was really impressed with your jump shot. That was sick.
Yeah.
I mean, people told me, you know, you were balling, but I didn't know it was like that. That was my shell.
I mean, it's all honesty. It's all because of YM Islamic Foundation's youth program on Saturdays. I mean, that kept me away from so many things throughout my youth, and those small reminders, which I still, you know, so grateful for today. And just to see, in basketball was the biggest part of my life, like at that time, because you know, you get your little Islamic speech, you go out to eat food with everybody, then you play basketball all night.
Yep.
And it's crazy to see how, you know, when I was first 13 years old, and I would always look up to the older brothers there who would give us the talks, to now where the tables have turned, and now there's still little kids now, and if I were to go now, it's like the tables have turned, so it's crazy.
Are you talking about YM and stuff?
Yeah,
are you
YM.
part of any programs right now?
Organizations? I'm with MIST right now.
Okay.
Beside
cool.
MIST,
I've heard of MIST. What is that? Do they do the basketball thing?
Yeah, it's like basketball and so many little, you know, type of events that, you know, Muslims can compete in. Short film, you know, Quran, you know, now there's so many things. Art, basketball.
And what's the demographic? What's the age group?
It's high school only.
Oh, high school
and
only.
And then you compete in Chicago for regionals, and then you go, you know, out of state for nationals, and you compete with, you know, New York, with Georgia, Atlanta. There's many competitions, just like, you know, so many competitions.
Oh, okay.
It's really cool.
I've heard of it. I've always heard good things about it. I never knew what it was. That's pretty dope. Do you feel like there's a lack of like organizations or organized thing for you know, people our age, for college people and stuff? I know there's an MSA, but I'll be honest, I mean, at the school I didn't really feel like they were doing much. I mean, maybe they were, I just didn't care. But do you feel like there's a lack of that, or is there a lot of resources for that?
I mean, I guess I'm
being serious. Like,
go ahead.
I mean, there are a lot of things that some people don't know that happens. That's one big thing. There's always programs at mosques, and there's always programs that, you know, people can go to, but, you know, sometimes I guess they just didn't hear the word, or, you know, they just might pass through it on a Facebook event page. But, you know, if people actually start going to these things, and maybe, you know, mosques and different organizations would be able to, you know, maybe raise more money to have even more of these type of stuff.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Have you ever thought about starting an organization or something like that?
As of now, probably not. Just maybe contributing more into, you know, youth basketball type of stuff, or YM and MSA and, you know, MIST and stuff like that.
Are you still part of YM?
I mean, since I have a basketball league that we run for some charity thing we're doing on Saturdays during YM, unfortunately I can't put time into that right now, but it ends in 2 weeks, so definitely YM.
What is a basketball league? It's you talking about the same thing from yesterday?
Yeah, in Naperville. Every Saturday it's in ICN.
It's IBL, right? Is
Yeah,
that the league?
IYBL, yeah.
Oh, IYBL. That's for the younger crew?
Yeah, it's for the younger crew. So it's just me and a group of 3 other people. We're basically making like a charity application.
Uh-huh.
So we are using this, Saturday nights to raise money for that application.
Oh. So, for your videos, where do you record it? Do you record it at home?
Yeah, in my room. I recently last year rearranged my room so it can correspond with like a green screen and all this equipment just so I could do everything in my room easily.
Oh, really? Have you recorded anywhere weird anywhere?
There's been some times I have. I once recorded in an elevator in our school.
My man.
That was really awkward because the whole time I'm like clicking the close button so no one enters. And as soon as I finished, someone entered and she's like, it was just really, really weird. But yeah.
What were you doing in an elevator? Keep on closing the door.
Seriously. It's like, why isn't it an opening?
Wait, what'd you have that was so important where you couldn't wait?
It's just news had to be made, and our school is so loud. There's nowhere. I knew that was quiet at that time. I was a freshman, so I didn't really know the school well.
Okay.
I didn't have a car either, so I'm like, I guess elevator's pretty quiet. So.
That is so cool, dude.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that, to be honest with you.
So that's the thing. You're like, this elevator looks like a good spot.
The elevator. I once had to do in the washroom in my haircut place, and wherever I could find that was quiet because at that time I didn't have a car. So yeah,
it's determination, man. It's determination. It is.
I wanted to be the first person to get the news out, so that's what I had to do.
What kind of news? I mean,
at that time it was just about the brand new games, so people wanted to know about the news. So to be the first one, more people would watch it if you're faster. So as soon as I found out, I just had to do it.
Wow. So when there's a new game release or anything, do you get priority over everyone else, or are you just like anyone else?
I mean, we're all pretty much in the same boat, but I guess we YouTubers just take a little bit more initiative to get the game early. Uh-huh. Like this past year, I literally drove to Indiana with a friend of mine, 2 weeks before to get the game early.
Oh my god,
really?
So yeah, and it's crazy because last year when I wanted to get the game that I got, this dude who was selling the games to us, since obviously he got it early, and I don't know how we got it early, we didn't ask, but some dude actually pulled a gun to him before he came to us to sell it. And we had to drive to the south side of Chicago to get this game. And this is our first time I'm in Southside. And he basically said, when you enter, just don't look outside the windows. Just put your phone in your pockets and just look straight. And then we were freaked out. So, I mean, we literally just parked at, the most convenient place. We parked at a place called Bubble Land. So it's like some laundromat place. And, I mean, I don't even know if this counts, but I think we all prayed in the car together, too. So.
Wow. Yeah. Impressive. No, that's impressive, man.
Dang, I wouldn't do that for a video game.
No, one thing I know that a lot of you're mentioning that you want to be the first one to release it. Now, based on that, it's obviously a competition who can release it first. Now, when you're competing with all these different people, is there ill intention and or is it camaraderie? Is what, good job, you beat me to it. Kind of like in basketball, whatever sport. Or is there actually enmity that's gaining? Between?
I mean, obviously, there will be people who will, on Twitter, maybe say it without saying it, like a subtweet, if you will. They might say, oh, wow, he would get it early or something like that. But also people will respect what you did to get the game early as well. So
yeah.
So you don't get any special treatment from 2K or anything to get
they will give me the game, possibly a day earlier.
Okay.
If not the day it releases for free. But if you want to get it early, which really helps, so you can, load up on videos as well when release day comes.
Yeah, it's free promotion for them. So
yeah.
It makes sense for them to send it out. I know a lot of, I know EA does it for FIFA because I follow a lot of the FIFA YouTubers, and they always have it early, and they'll sometimes get flown to EA, and they'll get to play the game with a whole bunch of other personalities like them. But yeah, it only supports their promotion, right?
Yeah, EA definitely has one. I'm in one of their programs where they send us games early as well, and they once sent me Madden early, and 2K I got early, but I never tried this with 2K, but I did it with Madden. I literally went with one of my friends, and we got Madden 2 weeks early before it came out. So we're like, let's see what happens if we trade this into GameStop.
Yeah.
So we went to GameStop, and the guys were like, what? And then they couldn't accept it, but they're like, that's so cool though. Just to see their reactions, it was really funny.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Have you done or have you thought about doing any other game like Madden or Any other?
I mean, I've done Madden before.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I've
Okay.
done Madden. WWE, I've done that as well. I love Dragon Ball Z. I grew up watching that show, so
Get into FIFA, man.
FIFA.
FIFA's
I like
growing in America.
It's huge. It's
we're
so huge.
We're tired of listening to British people talk FIFA on YouTube.
It's so huge.
definitely.
I'm just not that good at it, but
It's,
at that level, at least.
FIFA is like playing an instrument, man. It's the more you practice, it's all like finger memory. People ask me, they'll come over and we'll be playing. Like, what do you do to make do X type of a move, right?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I can't remember. I don't know because all my fingers are just programmed to do what I wanted to do.
That's experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He tried to teach me how to play it. I never got the coordination. I was like, forget it. This is not for me. I gave up very easily.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy.
Are you in anything like besides like snowboarding, besides sports, like besides basketball? I mean, are you into snowboarding, skiing? Have you done any of that?
I've
Or-
never done snowboarding, skiing, or anything. No, I mean I played football obviously and stuff
Muhammad
like that.
really
but
wants to get into snowboarding.
I really want to get into it.
Right.
I've been before. We went to Chestnut or something. a few
How was
hours
it?
away. Dude, it's so fun.
Wow.
It's so fun. Snowboarding. It's
Don't ask me about my experience.
What happened?
He's a snowboarder, and he's got his snowboard
Oh
over there.
wow!
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's so cool.
Well, I've been doing it since 2007, and we've been going around the country, even in Canada, Whistler, Canada. Went to Jackson Hole in Wyoming, went to Idaho, went to Colorado Vale. So we've been all over the place, and it's an experience, but it's a very painful experience. If a lot of people who are in leagues and stuff like that, they just can't risk getting injured, and they don't want anything to affect their basketball life. And I can respect that, but I tell them all the time, if you're going to go snowboarding, you're not risking your knees at all. It's really, you could get an ankle sprain, or you can fall on your butt really hard, but or you can have wrist injuries, but not ACLs. ACLs usually come with skiing. So
Oh wow!
yes, ACLs are like dime a dozen with skiers.
Wow.
yeah. I thought snowboarding was.
Sheikh
good.
Amr found something funny.
No, I was thinking about my experience when you told me.
Yeah.
So
There was a great story.
This is-
Sheikh Amr.
this is something that I thought I'd only see in a movie. So this guy I was inspired because he records this with a GoPro and he's got awesome videos, beautiful videos, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, Amr, you know what? I'm going to take you. And he took his brother-in-law to, I'll take you guys, I'll teach you guys how to snowboard. I was like, all right, let's do it. I got all hyped. We went the day before, bought all these, the snowboarding gear and everything. And I'll tell you after the podcast's done what happened to that gear. But and then we went to Wisconsin, and he was trying to teach us the whole time. Listen, all you have to do is balance on this and this and this. So we go through the shack, we get all this stuff, all this equipment. So now comes time. We have to do this weird thing where one foot is in the snowboard and it's locked in, and the other isn't, so you can walk.
Yeah.
I couldn't even do that, right?
Uh-oh.
So now he's like, all right, you have to get onto the lift, right? And I was like, wait, I can't do that. I don't even know how to walk. He's like, just do it, right? So him and his brother-in-law get on. I tried to get on. I missed one, and then I got on with one of the guys that works over there, right? I finally got on. I'm like, oh. And I'm just thinking the whole time, how am I supposed to get off? Right? Because I can't even get onto this thing. So the guy's like, I'm asking him, hey, listen, man, this is my first time here. I kind of almost broke down to him. I felt like a little kid, like a little baby, dude. This was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So I was like, listen, how do I get off? He's like, no, man, you just have to jump off and balance and then put your other foot on. I was like, really? I don't know how to. He's like, oh, don't worry, you'll do it or something, right? He was being nice. I was like, all right, so it's time for the lift to, for me to get off, basically. His brother-in-law, he gets off.
It's kind of a little hill, right?
It's a little hill.
Yeah.
His brother-in-law gets off and he falls. I'm like, oh, shoot, that's coming for me. And I know it's going to happen because his balance is better than mine, his brother-in-law's.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, here we go. And I didn't get off. And it goes like this, and it turns back around, and it goes and picks up those people. I was like, they're like, get off. I was like, I'm trying to, I can't. Please get out. So I jump off, I slip, and I spin around. I do the somersault, and I literally do a flip and somersault.
Okay, so the lift is turning around now.
Yeah, because if you don't get off, then it turns around. You're going to remain on it. So I got off at that crucial point. Now, at this point where I landed, there's that bar, that safety bar, which is striped like a danger sign or whatever.
Yeah.
It's basically saying you should have gotten off by now.
Yeah. So that bar, if it goes up, the whole lift stops. So I'm getting off this thing, and I'm flipping, and I fall, and I kick that thing while I'm falling.
Man.
And the bar, I land on my back, and the bar's in my lap, and everything stops.
Do not enter, and he's carrying that sign. It was so...
And that is just like... Sim is like, this is his first time. And I was like, they can see that. I'm like, I'm pretty pissed off because I just stopped everything, and everyone is waiting for me. And how many people were waiting back there? There were hundreds of people
At
there.
least... he definitely stopped at least 200 people from seeing for at least 10 minutes.
And that's how I started off. Now, to get down the hill, and I swear I was snowboarding for at least 2 hours. And after that 2 hours, I looked back, and the hill was just I only got like maybe 20 yards for like 2 hours. I kept on falling on my behind, after that, I was like, you know what, I could probably get used to it. But that was probably one of the most embarrassing times of my adult life. Yeah.
Which mountain did you guys go to? Devil's Peak?
It was Cascade.
Cascade Mountain in
yeah.
Wisconsin.
And I just told him, I was like, dude,
Wisconsin.
can I go sledding? I want to go sledding. It looks fun, dude. He's like, no, it's for the little kid.
Yeah,
I was like, it
sledding
looks
is
so
fun,
fun.
dude.
Just let me go sledding, dude. I can't snowboard. He's like, no friend of mine is going sledding. I was like, dang it, I want to go sledding, though.
Can you do like all those crazy like flips and all that type of stuff?
I can just go off ramps, but
It's so
that's
cool.
the most I could
He's
do.
got some cool
I mean,
videos.
the problem is that at my age, you really don't want to get hurt, and a lot of people who learn those tricks and whatnot, they do it at much earlier ages.
Yeah.
And when they land, even if they fall, they just sometimes you'll get hurt, but majority of the time they can walk away. But
He got a pretty bad injury from doing it. That's why.
Really?
yeah, I have I had 2 shoulder surgeries from it.
But it wasn't necessarily because of snowboarding, right?
Yeah, it was contribute. The snowboarding basically said
Push it over the
yeah,
edge.
it pushed it over the edge, and I was into a lot of different activities
Yeah.
at that time. I was in volleyball and a lot of over the head movement and stuff, and that really aggravated my labrum and my rotator cuff muscles. And when I finally fell or wiped out in snowboarding, that literally just shredded everything. So it wasn't too bad where it was like 3-4 months of recovery. And honestly, my wife was asking me, oh, now do you still want to continue this? I'm like, you don't know how badly I want to go back again. That's when she's like, okay, I give up.
Dang.
That's funny. I had one question for you. So, you know, when you went to EA or these YouTube things, a lot of these guys, they vlog, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it awkward when you see these guys just walking around with these phones or the cameras or whatever, and they're just talking to this camera? Well, how is that? Like, I always thought that to be like the oddest thing ever.
I mean, honestly, I guess I'm kind of on the same boat because normally when these individuals do it, I guess they do it privately. I would never see them vlog like openly. But it's so common now. I mean, I don't know how it would be. I mean, I feel like if I'm chilling with all my friends and I just pull a camera and start vlogging, I guess it'd kind of be awkward. But
Yeah.
you're so into it, I guess, you know, it's just a normal thing.
Yeah. Do you know who Casey Neistat is?
Who?
Casey Neistat?
I don't.
He's this YouTube guy, and he lives in New York, and then he does vlogs, whatever.
Yeah.
He calls them movies, and he walks around with this big thing, this big camera, like Canon 70D or 50D, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
And dude, it's the biggest thing in the world, and he just walks around.
Yeah,
with
it's
it,
like
just all
FouseyTube
casual.
does the same thing.
Really?
Yeah, FouseyTube, and so many people do that.
Yeah.
Have you ever met them?
I've not.
No.
Who's your besides the Johnson guy? Who's your like celebrity YouTuber that you really
Everyone wants to be KSI, right?
I mean, yeah,
KSI is like the biggest among all the YouTubers.
yeah, he's huge, and he's so cool. He's just down to earth.
Yeah.
He just chill guy to chill with.
Well, my question is, when are you going to buy the McLaren?
Yeah.
Wait, this KSI guy has McLaren?
I mean, yeah, they got a few of them.
Oh wow!
He's huge.
Are you into cars and stuff? You like, is
Um,
that one of your hobbies, researching cars and stuff? Or?
it's more than it was in the past,
Mhm.
but I'm still content with the Hondas.
Nice.
Can't beat that gas mileage.
Of course.
Get that MPG.
Real talk.
The dissiness inside you is strong.
Seriously.
Honda or Toyota, either or.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind like a super nice car, but
So what's next for you? What's next for Sub the Gamer?
Pretty much just continuing my education and just focusing on YouTube as well, and pretty much that's it. Just working on myself as well. That's also really important. Just establishing the stuff that I did last year, just strengthening it, I guess, as well.
Okay. You said you were thinking about going back and doing some science classes.
Yeah, I was also thinking of doing that. One of my teachers, he told me, because I was science my first year in college, and then I stopped. And he said, when you study something, do it to appreciate the miracles of God. And if you think about it, the whole body is a miracle. The whole anatomy and physiology, that's a miracle of God. So just to go back and learn some of that thing, I think that'd be really cool. Because when I was a little 17, 18-year-old freshman, I just wanted to be a doctor because everyone else was doing it. But now the intentions have changed.
Oh, okay.
The mindset, if you will. Yeah.
So are you still trying to be a doctor, or you just really want to do this for the fun of it? I've never heard that in my life.
I mean, we could see what happens from there, but just to get some of those core classes that I missed out on, at least to take those, I think it'd be cool.
Oh, okay. That'd be really cool. So, so in closing, I just wanted to do you have any message for people? Just anyone. What do you have to say to people?
I mean, to people, just basically, if you have a dream, follow it. And a lot of people think that, they have to, cancel and stop doing one thing to focus on something else. But, there's so much time in the day. You could honestly, go to school and still do your favorite thing you wanted to do. You can still follow your dreams and still work hard. You just got to cut out some of the time that you would spend playing. And you could still play. You could do everything if you just prioritize your time. If you could prioritize your time and, your desire to do something big in life or whatever you want to do in life is big enough to do it, you could do it. You just got to just make the right decisions and just prioritize things, most important to you.
That's awesome.
Like, subscribe to STG Gamer.
Yes, subscribe to him, and you'll learn that same wisdom, too. He's dropping mad wisdom. Learn the wisdom of STG.
We'll have it in the description. I just want to say, Subhan, thanks a lot for coming out.
Thank you, Subhan.
Thank you. It was inspirational, brother. Really
Thank
was.
you guys so much for having me. Honestly, this is so cool. And inshallah, I wanted to ask you guys, what was your, incentive to start this?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of different inspirations. People, a lot of our teachers. Me and Amr grew up together since we were young. I don't know, 12, 10 years old, I think, when we first met. And since then, we've met so many different people, teachers. Amr went off and studied in Mauritania and Egypt and India, all these different places. And I studied from different people when I was over here before he left. And I ended up getting married while he was gone. I'm like, you know what? Since my boy's gone, I might as well get married.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. I feel special.
These guys spend more time together than with their wives.
Every time I come here, my wife's like, you love him more than me. I was like, actually, I probably do.
Yeah, so we just really want to pass on everything that we learned from all of our teachers and all of our inspirations, and we hope that people can benefit.
Yeah, and for me, I see a lot of. I grew up, obviously, I went to a public high school, and I used to see when a lot of kids, when they'd be asked, or a lot of youth, they'd be asked questions, they'd feel very defensive and inferior. And through my experiences, I just want, to give them something so they don't have to feel that. And it's not just giving them something. We want to answer exact questions for them, right? And they should have an answer. They love being Muslim, but sometimes they're asked a trick question, even if it's that, and they don't know how to reply. That's one thing, helping alleviate themselves from that inferiority complex if they have that, and a nice understanding of what Islam is, so people nationally and internationally understand what Islam actually is. We don't want. Am I allowed to say a news agency's name?
No, that's fine.
Yeah. All right. We don't want them to take their Islam from Fox News and say that's it.
Of course.
We want. If this is what Fox News is saying, fine. Let them say that. That's how they make their money. But this is what real Islam is.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
No, and we want people not to get angry when people attack your religion. They're not attacking necessarily you.
Yeah.
They're attacking your religion, and we don't want to see people responding with, "Oh, you're an Islamophobe." It's feeling like you're just copping out to not being able to answer their question. We want you to be enabled so that you can respond with intelligent, thoughtful responses, and instead of getting angry. A
lot of times it's out of ignorance too. It's not necessarily out of...
Yeah. And that's why we feel for them. It's actually we feel for them.
Yeah. I'm asked my daughters these questions, and I asked them, just questions like, oh, okay, well, you believe in a book that talks about a bunch of animals going on a boat and the world getting flooded. What about Harry Potter? If I said that's my religion, would you start believing that? It's a book about similar stories like that. And I can see them like, Baba, you were making me so angry. I wanted to choke you. How could you say that kind of stuff? And I'm like, see, this is why you need to be able, instead of getting angry, you need to be able to form a thoughtful response. You can't just get angry. Use your emotions and direct it towards getting knowledge, getting some wisdom, and be able to help other people understand. If you're not going to convert someone, you can maybe help people understand what you're all about, and just make those small goals.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Mashallah.
I'm here just to get famous.
Yeah. And if our listeners have any questions, reach out to us on our Twitter handle at the Mad Mamluks, TheMadMamluks. So at the Mad Mamluks.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Subhan, for coming out.
Of course.
Hopefully we can have you again. I mean, no, we definitely will.
Of course, inshallah, man. I'm always around, man.
Yeah, awesome. Assalamualaikum.
Right.